Well, hello friends. Welcome back to the program. Today we are going to work on a new website in Ladybird. We're going to take a look at stripe.com because until now it's been crashing in the CSS parser, but earlier today Sam got a fix in and we can now load Stripe, which is pretty cool. Actually, let me load this in English so that it's a bit more understandable perhaps for everybody. So as you can see, we're having some big gaps in the layout here, but you can definitely recognize the website. A lot of things that immediately stand out that we need to fix, but let's take a look at it in Firefox just to compare. So here is what we're supposed to be seeing. As you can see, there's a kind of a transformation, I guess, on the background here. Background is animating with this cool pattern going on. We are just stuck not animating the background. Fine. Logo is missing in our case. But we have kind of the iPhone or whatever this is supposed to be mostly rendering, although the credit card logos are a bit screwed up. And this section here with, I guess they're partners or whatever, it's totally missing. So you can see here, there's all kinds of problems. But I thought, now that we have this site working, let's fix something here. So I thought we would go after these partner logos because they are fun and colorful, and that's a good reason to start with something. So I'm just going to copy out this whole section here and let me Stripe logos, let's call it. All right, so we have a big thing, and hopefully we can just get that. Okay, so does that work in Firefox? It does. That is actually really, really good because then we don't need to care about what's going on with the rest of the page. We can just focus on this situation. So why are these not working? I guess let's strip it down to a single logo. Why not Volvo? Seems like an appropriate one for some reason. So, oh my goodness. I have to actually recognize which one is Volvo. Oh, no, it says Volvo logo right there. I thought I was going to have to guess based on the SVG path. Thankfully, I don't need to do that. So if we just get the Volvo logo, cool. So why are you not working? Let me run prettier on it. Okay, so it's just an inline SVG. We should be able to handle all that. But the fill is using a CSS variable. Maybe that's the problem. What if we didn't? Then what would happen? Hey, okay. So fill attribute has to support CSS variables. I did not know that. I wonder if that's true of every presentational hint attribute. Like, is that true for stuff like width on table elements and stuff like that? Let's have a look. Presentational hints. What are some easy ones to test with? We have the body element, BG color. That's one of the classic presentational hints. BG color, we parse that as CSS and then forward it to Actually, we don't parse it as CSS. We parse it directly as a color. It might actually not be entirely right. So maybe that's a separate issue. I wonder if you're, let's see if you're supposed to be able to do that. CSS var in attribute. What if you do something wild like this? And let's say that that property was set at that point to orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say red? Haha, okay. So we do not, of course, we do not do anything about that. Wait, what? Why is it blue? What? Is it interpreting var as like a weird hashless color or something? Like, what if I just remove that stuff? Now it's red. Bongles. Okay, I am so confused suddenly. Let me look up the spec for this because now I am caught off guard. Let's see. Wait, no, I didn't want BG. I wanted the body. Take me to MDN. Body BG color. Who specs that? I mean, it should be in the BG color. Do not use this attribute. Yeah. Don't have to tell me that, MDN. Okay, so what does the HTML spec say about BG color? Nothing. Okay, maybe I maybe I went after the wrong thing here. I'm just gonna ignore BG color. We'll find something else, and I will just leave this thing to be weird. And I'm sure we'll have some reason to come back to it eventually. But I just want to find something where we parse something as CSS. Like table element. Table element has width. And we don't throw it into the CSS parser. So that's kind of what I want to find out. Like, is this something that's just generic supported everywhere or what? Woo. Back border 5 pixel solid red, whatever. Can I just have a look at this thing? So the width here is just ignored. But if I were to say 200 px here, would you still ignore me? Okay, what if I said 200 though? Well, now it became 200 pixels wide, at least. Why don't I get a border? I'm a bit weirded out. Do I have to make cells? Okay, I guess I did. Okay, so this thing does not care about CSS variables. So maybe it's just an SVG thing. SVG attribute CSS variables. SVG filled with CSS variables. Stack Overflow. Well, let's see what they say. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. This is too much to read. I'm not going to read all that. But we can observe that other browsers apparently care about fill here. Or care about CSS variables here, which is really rather interesting. So path, maybe it says something in here. So like that, let's have a look at the overview. Fill, the fill property. Okay. Attributes, fill attribute, okay. Now I'm in the animation spec. That's not where I wanted to go. Okay, so fill is a presentation attribute. Sure. But I guess the SVG specification doesn't even mention CSS variables because SVG was before CSS variables, maybe? I don't know. But it's evidently something that we should support. So let's see about supporting that. So how do we actually parse this at the moment? That would be in like SVG path element, parse attribute. No, it will be in maybe SVG graphics element, presentational hints, fill. Yes, here. So we get a presentational hint, by the way, is just an attribute that maps to some kind of CSS. So the fill attribute maps to a corresponding fill, a CSS fill property. Although, as the fix me here says, the fill attribute and CSS fill property are not the same, but our support is limited enough that they are equivalent for now. So I guess that's cool. We have a bunch of properties here. So fill, stroke, stroke width, fill opacity, and stroke opacity. Interesting. So I guess what happens here is that I just parse that and then I set that property in the style that we're currently building. So apply presentational hints is called by style computer. It will call it sometime during the CSS cascade to make sure that CSS properties that are created by presentational hints are inserted at the right priority level. So this function here, compute cascaded values, is all about applying properties in order of specificity and priority and so on. So presentational hints go here, but we just kind of poke them directly into the style object that we're currently building. Maybe we have to expand variables. Expand variables. Is that what I want to do? Sounds a little too low level. There's something else, like expand unresolved values. Expand unresolved values. What does cascade declaration do? Okay, here, right. If property value is unresolved, I think unresolved means that it has variables in it. I think. And if so, okay, unresolved always contains a var or attr. So has something, either one of those. So I guess we need to try to resolve values after, when we get something from presentational hints, we need to do this. Because we can't really do it. I mean, we could do it like every time in all of the virtuals. So where the heck was that graphics element? Here. So like we've done a parse CSS value here. So now we have an unresolved value, and we have to resolve it. So we would need to like as unresolved or whatever, resolve something. But in order to do that, we have to have access to the state of all the CSS variables at this point, which means that this thing would need to be called with access to the style computer, I guess. We could pass a reference to the style computer and then ask it like, oh, and resolve variables. But that would be pretty error prone. You would have to remember to do it everywhere. So maybe it would be easier if we just do it here. So you would just like just iterate. I want to iterate all the properties, something like that. So iterate all of the CSS properties that exist, I guess. First property ID, yeah, let's do that. First property ID, last property ID. And then I want to check, I guess I can do something like this. Okay. And then you are reading my mind. Thank you, Copilot. That is what I wanted to do. Just have to tweak that slightly, but that's really nice. Let's see. So that would just, if there's an unresolved property, we try to resolve it with the current context. Oopsie doopsie. And if it resolves, then we overwrite the current property in that slot. So this is, it's less efficient than doing it like only when needed for like each individual property that we set, but it's less error prone. So I'll put it fix me. Or here, let's say note in case some presentational hint contains a custom property, we need to resolve them manually here. We resolve fix me. This is not very efficient. We should only resolve the custom properties actually they're actually used. Yeah, that's a good comment. Thank you, Copilot. Okay. So what happens if we do that? What was it? Volvo? That's a little crashy, okay. Oh, right. I can't just null deref because I might not have that property yet because we have not defaulted all the properties to some values. So they're going to be nulls. And look at that. Oh, okay. What if we try to load all the logos? Hey. That's pretty nice. Actually, is that correct? It's roughly correct. I mean, they're like a little bit too close to each other, perhaps. That's something that we should work on, but they are showing up now. Previously, they were not. I'm just going to put a little style element here, see what happens if I put a border on everything, because I'm curious what is going on with you. Oh, this was Volvo. Let me put this in. Stripe logos. Aha. Okay, so it gets a little confused. Definitely got some things to work out here. But yeah, what on earth? I guess those are inline SVGs, right? So SVG display inline, is that what's happening? Inline? And if we were to make them block, they would behave correctly as of recently, but inline or inline block, a little bit more goofy. Sure. Okay, well, ignoring that, what happens if we go to stripe.com? See if they load here, because that was the whole point. I'm seeing some logo. Okay, all right. Well, these are different logos. I guess I got the maybe I got the Swedish ones. Okay, so they are stacking up vertically, but that's probably some other issue. Oh, shoot, and the site logo is showing up now too. We didn't have that before. So that is great. That is really nice. Okay, all right. I was just thinking, like, how do I test this? I need a property that affects layout. So did I have any? I got the stroke width, which I guess would affect the bounding box of something. So I could do like an obnoxiously huge bounding box and use that as a way to just verify with the layout test that it works. SVG with CSS, variable and presentational hint. And then let's just make an SVG. Path, stroke width. And here we will say var huge. Okay, maybe I'll even use a rect. Actually, I wonder how this is going to pan out. I've only recently started writing SVGs by hand for tests and stuff. So I'm not, unlike HTML, like when I'm writing out an SVG, I'm struggling to visualize what it is that I'm really making. So let's see. So let's say that I did this and I went with 100 px. What have I made? Okay, some kind of a thing. But that doesn't seem to be affecting it. Am I not using this stroke width property right? Should be stroke width. Does this property not honor? I guess I should test putting something here. CG. Okay. I'm just gonna make this thing where I can see it. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Sure. Maybe I'll even put it in the center like that. Okay. But oh, right, stroke width. It wasn't caring about what I was saying. So maybe rect doesn't care about stroke width? Is that the issue? So I have to make a path. So I don't remember how to make paths. I did not do that right. I forget. Like, I know how to edit a path if I'm looking at one. H90. Okay, yeah, sure. So like H5. There we go. We made something. Stroke width. Can I get a huge stroke width on this thing? Okay, I'm starting to wonder what stroke width is. How do I use stroke width? You can use it on rect. All right. Let's just use their example here. All right. Can I just get something? Okay. Finally something. But wait, it doesn't care? Would I now start caring about this? I'm so confused. Okay, so I would honor this huge thing. That doesn't look right, by the way. Okay, so this is not correct because other browsers, presumably Firefox, does not honor the CSS variable in stroke. Chrome does. But Firefox doesn't. Cool. What about WebKit? Let's see what they say. WebKit does not. Okay. So, I mean, I guess I should use a slightly more reasonable value, but wait a minute. WebKit, okay, so 10. Everybody likes 10. Although it looks a little bit different in Firefox, WebKit, and Chrome, but they all tolerate 10. But if I set it to 100, Firefox doesn't render it anymore. Neither does WebKit, but Chrome does. Nice. Okay. So I guess I don't know what the correct thing is, but we at least we can observe that everybody cares about the variable. So does it work as a layout test was my original question. So in order to find that out, we have to That's not a very good circle, by the way. Okay, so we have a circle, and the circle is 53 by 53 roughly. And if I change that, does that change the metrics of the circle? That's what I want to know. Yes, it does. Okay, that's good. That means that we can make a layout test that verifies that this functionality is here. For the rest of it, that's a separate problem entirely. Okay, maybe we don't have to use a circle then, because that was awkward. I liked it better when we were XY 4, 5, width 1, height 1, in a 10-10 box. That was cozier. And now everybody agrees. Okay. This has been mildly confusing, but we learned at least that other browsers disagree on how you render very large stroke width. So that's interesting. For our needs right now, we are just going to do this, and that will be our test, I think. Yeah. Because the content size box, the content size for this box here is affected by the stroke width, because it's a bounding box. Yeah. That is great. Why did the content size become so much larger? Well, whatever. Let's say 10 or maybe 5. Then I can see it. All right. Stop screwing around. We have a test. Great. Let's move on. Okay, so test the web layout SVG. Okay. Commit. Okay, so here's our commit. libweb. Resolve CSS variables if present in presentational. I couldn't, or no, this matches the behavior of other engines. This roughly matches. Yeah. It's also used on the web, for example, on stripe.com. Cool. Okay, well, that was confusing. So let's see that we didn't break any of our layout tests, but I don't think that we would. I don't think I've ever seen this particular thing before, so I wasn't even aware that it was possible, so I don't think we test for it. Okay, well, that's progress. We learned a little something. Gonna have to look more into this, because it would be good to have some kind of like specification authority on what exactly the behavior is supposed to be and which properties should support variables. But it's nice that we got the logos to show up. That's great progress on a new site. And there's just a ton of stuff to do here, but I gotta start somewhere. So this will be it for today's video. If you made it here, then thank you for watching, for hanging out. I hope that you saw something interesting today. I certainly learned some things and have some confusion lingering, but it's all good. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all next time. Bye.